Welcome into Game Static, episode 96. I'm Sly with Spark 3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're watching or perhaps listening to this episode. I got the boys here with me. I got Zach and John. Zach, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Ready to go. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but sure, let's do it.
We're going to ramble, and we're going to have a good time. That's all that really matters. John, what about you? How you doing? How you feeling? Don't turn on the TV. Don't turn on the TV.
I'm doing pretty good. I just noticed this remote here, so I was just going to turn the TV on.
Well, it would definitely be a my shot. I can see you in my shot, too. So, anyway, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Just here to ramble?
We'll call it all right.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I'm feeling,
It's a good
too.
catch-all.
Yeah, I mean, true. So we've got some pretty decent things to ramble about today, at least in my opinion. We've had a bit of a controversy pop out this week with The Last of Us, which, no surprise there. That tends to happen with Last of Us. Got Stray from me. Good chat about that. Multiversus for you. Chat about that. I'll give my final quick wrap-up thoughts on Fire Emblem because I'm free. I finally have beat my first playthrough. Golden Wildfire I have completed, so I'll give my wrap-up thoughts on that because I do have I definitely have some wrap-up thoughts about it. Some stuff with Halo Infinite going to chat about, and then we kind of talked about it briefly last week, but we're going to actually dive into Pokemon leaks this week. And if you didn't check out last week's episode, I'm starting to do timestamps again, and I plan on doing it every single week now for Game
That was
Static.
actually very nice.
Yeah, so if you are a Pokemon fan and you've been avoiding the leaks, you can easily skip over that portion of the talking point. So you're going to be good to go. And some various release dates we got. We got lots of release dates to kind of go over and stuff like that. But first and foremost, if you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. Also, go check out our website, spark3.com. You sign up for free or sign up $5 a month. We appreciate that for sure. And check out our partners and sponsorships, such as Rogue Energy. Use promo code SPARK30 to get 10% off your order. Use our referral link down below. Swift Grips as well. Promo code GameStack for 10% off. And use our referral link down below for Red Dragon. And use GameStack for 10% off. We do have a promo code in the merch store as well, because I threw up some canvas arts. I also revamped the merch store, took out a lot of listings that really just didn't need to be there. Kind of cleaned it up quite a bit. As well as add canvas arts of all three of the weekly podcasts. So you can use promo code ARTISCOOL for 25% off everything in the merch store. And join the Discord server. That'd definitely be appreciated. So a Terrible Football Show is about to start live here in like less than 2 weeks. August 2nd, 5 p.m.-ish Central Standard Time, right here at youtube.com/Spark3. Terrible Football Show will be live every single Tuesday. Starting on the 2nd. Join the Discord, come chat with us, have a great time.
Aren't we supposed to do live casts?
Yeah, that's coming. It's starting with episode 101. Yeah, shout out episode 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we doing that?
Yeah. Well, it's currently still locked in, yeah.
Zach was sitting over there and he had this weird look. I didn't know if he was giving me a weird look or if he was thinking.
I was thinking while giving you a weird look.
Yeah. No, okay, so originally we were going to kick it off at like 95, but just decided to wait till after episode 100.
Right, I remember that conversation now.
Yeah, so episode 101, we should be starting live shows here with Game Static every Saturday. Still don't know a for sure time that I can give yet. I have no idea. I'm feeling like because of like the bullshit talk that we do, before show to kind of get the juices flowing. I feel like a 6 sorry. I feel like a 6 p.m. ish might be a goal window if we start early. If we start earlier, we can start earlier. That's probably the best window for us. And I said this last week. No Jared this week. This is his on-call week for work, so I think he is working right now. But hopefully he'll be back next week, pending the situation that made him miss last week. Also, T's and P's for that for sure. Before we jump into everything, boys, you got anything you want to shout out real quick, or you want to go ahead and jump into some stuff?
No, it's an odd crossover.
What is an odd crossover?
Attack on Titan and Dead by Daylight.
I did see that. Yeah, that was a very odd crossover.
What's happening? Because I feel like, is it like anime month or something? Because I'm missing something. Because like everyone's doing anime crossovers.
Right.
Because like even Apex has a weird Gaiden event, which is just a bunch of knockoff poor cosplay anime characters for character skins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is just anime month because I saw the Dead by Daylight thing and I definitely thought that was very odd. When I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw that, I'm just like, really? That's what we're doing?
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway. John, you got anything you want to shout out? You ready to jump into stuff?
Man, I'm going to keep like whipping my head back and forth because I cannot help but look every time the curtains move.
Well,
it's just... I can't help it.
It's
movement. I see movement and I can't help but look.
I get it. It's movement. All right, let's go ahead and jump into stuff. Well.
Blue box?
I wish. What do we have here? A controversy with Naughty Dog involving false advertisement? No, Naughty Dog wouldn't do that. They are grade A in marketing. They would never, ever do false advertisement. So quite a bit of controversy this week involving The Last of Us. Part 1, now officially renamed to that. That makes sense. So first off, man, I don't know what's going on over at Naughty Dog, but they've got some people in there that just hates their life, I guess, because they just be leaking out shit all the time. Because Last of Us Part 2 got completely leaked before that game came out. You know, this game the announcement was leaked before Summer Game Fest, took the wind out of the sails of that ending. And now that recently this week we had a gameplay leak for Last of Us Part 1, and then immediately following, I guess Sony said, fuck it, just go ahead and put the gameplay trailer out that they already clearly had made up and ready to go, just picking a date. So basically the big controversy behind this is that, okay, so coming into the initial announcement, right, people were already, it's like, really, I get it's PS5, but really $70, that was already the first thing, right? And now with the gameplay leaks that we've seen, as well as, man, in that trailer, they kind of glossed over gameplay stuff. They really were hammering home, like, oh, look at all the graphical enhancements. Look at that. Look at, the haptic feedback stuff with your trigger. Like, they really hammered that over gameplay. But, like, the big controversy is, like, the gameplay looks completely unchanged from the first game, which is, you don't go into these games for gameplay necessarily. You're in there for the story, because of what the game is. You don't expect like almost unbelievably groundbreaking gameplay. You just want good gameplay. Last of Us 1 gameplay is kind of rough, even with,
when it came out, it was great.
Yeah, exactly. When it came out, it was great. So like when this announcement was made and talked about Summer Game Fest, where, quote, this game has been rebuilt from the ground up, a full remake for PS5 to utilize it, and further hammered home like gameplay enhancements and improvements and stuff. Everyone was under that impression because of what Naughty Dog said, is that it was going to be a big upgrade, basically be like Last of Us Part 2 gameplay in Last of Us Part 1. That does not seem to be the case at all. So now it warrants the big question. It's like, is this really worth $70? It's like, because like it was already a question, like, was this even necessary? I remember when we talked about the rumor for this a long time ago. It's just like, a remake of the first game, is that necessary? I still don't think it is. But man, just like the false advertisement behind this company is just unbelievable to me. Like, and the reason I wanted to talk about this not only is because it's like the biggest piece of news out of gaming this week, it's just because I'm still salty about Last of Us Part 2 and how terrible the marketing and advertising behind that game was versus the game that we got. There was a very clear shift in the story. Very clear.
Yes.
Very, very clear. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of Naughty Dog. Like, I give them all the respect in the world, right? Like, they're a very, solid. None of their games are bad. Let me stress that.
Yes.
While I'm not a big fan of the Last of Us games, I think they're horribly overrated. I acknowledge they're good games. But I feel like Naughty Dog is like those douchebags from like school or college that buys into their own hype. That's kind of because where they just know whatever they do is gonna. Because whatever they do is gonna sell. Whatever they do is gonna work. You know what I mean? Because they don't make bad stuff, but like they know that they can just do this stuff and completely get away with it. People are still gonna buy this. It's still gonna sell. It's not gonna sell like what Part 1 sold or the original game, because the original game sold like I think 20 mil.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
Part 2 only sold like 10 to 15 mil. This one will probably sell. It'll sell below that in my opinion. I don't think it'll break 10 mil. But I do think that it'll still sell easily over at least 5 million copies, close to 10 mil. But no, like the controversy this week involving it just with its gameplay just not being what it was advertised to be. That's the big deal breaker here. So I was kind of curious on you guys' thoughts on this idea of this remake, which only seems to be a big graphical enhancement for $70, because that's always the big touchy point right now, is that $70 price tag.
So meanwhile, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, how am I the one that, like, I'm not surprised by it, but also how did I misread anything they've said or done? Because as you said, they're like completely rebuilt from the ground up. I missed that apparently, or I just blocked that part out and don't remember it, because this entire time I've just been assuming they're taking it, enhancing the graphics up to be PS5 and then releasing it again. That's been my mindset. So I wasn't necessarily shocked by like there not being like much gameplay changes,
Right.
because in my head that's where I was. So I don't understand. I'm confused how I've misinterpreted this entire thing to where I'm the one who's like, well, yeah, this is what I thought it was.
Yeah, no, it was in that talk with Jeff at Summer Game Fest. Neil
Yep.
said the game was rebuilt for the ground up for the
Yep.
PS5.
Yeah, it's like
Because he stressed that this is a remake of the game.
Yeah.
Like he was stressing that.
it's like as I've gone back and looked at it, I'm like, you know what? They did actually say this.
Yeah.
And somehow I just grossly misinterpreted what they said to be what they're giving everyone. So I mean, did the game need to be like a remake or a remaster or anything? I wouldn't really think so. I mean,
I think the remaster on PS4 is fun. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's
That's,
like-
that's what I played.
it's like because that in my head I thought they were essentially taking that and just
Porting it.
bringing that
Yeah.
up and bringing it into the PS5 graphics and that. That's where I thought they were, but obviously I'm grossly misinterpreted what they had said.
Right.
But I mean, did it need to happen again? Not really. I mean, it's like it's not been that long since it was brought back up to PS4. Like in all actuality, it hadn't been that long. It's just, and does it need to be $70? Hell no.
No, absolutely not.
It's like even if it was like they were enhancing it, bring it up, it still wouldn't need to be $70. It's like because this is gonna be the second, third, fourth time they're selling this game.
Yeah, something
fourth.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is gonna be the fourth time they're selling this game.
And it hasn't even been out for 10 years, right? Because I think the first one came out in 2013 maybe.
That sounds right.
And it's like a lot of games that do release like 4 or 5 copies of the game. It's an older game that's being sold on like 4 or 5 different generations of like consoles, or it's being ported to different consoles than it originally came out on. This game, less than 10 years old.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
fourth time they're releasing it again.
Came out 2013.
Okay. So yeah,
It's
it's about
like-
to be 10.
It's like, I mean, at most, like an updated version of the game, I would say like $40 most.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that would be pushing it.
Yeah. And I also want to throw in, like we as a community, like we know why it's being done because it's essentially for a marketing push for the HBO show. But at the same time, it's like, was it really necessary for this remake that's apparently like not like from what I've seen from a lot of people talking about is like they're just like, this is like, it doesn't need to be called a remake. It just needs to be called more so like a definitive edition to play the definitive way to play the game.
That's what it looks like because doing it as a full release seems very unnecessary because of what this game is and what we're used to it. As we said, this is like its fourth time being released. Did I expect it to get re-released on PS5? Yes.
Yeah.
But I expected more as a release was like a bundle set with part 1 and part 2 together.
Kind of like Spider-Man did.
Yes.
With Miles Morales. Yeah.
Yeah, for PS5. So us getting a whole re-release and them supposedly saying remaster is sort of a what the fuck, guys?
Well, even then, it's like, because it's like the game's going to come out, $70 price tag, and hell, 2 years from now, then you'll get a bundle of part 1 and part 2 together for $70.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I understand that like if they want to rate, like the newer games are going to come out, they're going to be $70. 1, this is not a newer game, and 2, from what we've seen so far, not that it's like they're focusing on like the graphics and everything. It's like everything else appears to be pretty much the same. So you haven't changed that much of it, and you're gonna charge them more than they paid for the original game that looks a
Yes.
little bit nicer.
Yeah.
It's like
And-
I don't know. I don't like that.
And it's also like just one random thing to kind of throw out here, like because I've seen a lot of people like to point this out, even though it's like it's not that big of a draw. It's really not. Is that you're technically paying $70 for this game that has less content than the original game because the original game had the multiplayer. And I understand that's not a huge selling point. There was a community that definitely played that game up until servers got killed. but like you're paying more for a game with less content. That's another argument people have made.
Well-
And this is also like an entirely very like full circle kind of conversation because a couple weeks ago with Jared's debut episode, we had the conversation about it was GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1 being remade up, and Jared proposed the question, is that necessary? And
Yes.
our mindset was yes, because they're still trapped a couple generations back. It hasn't been brought up like Last of Us already have with this remaster that is drastically better than the original game. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, while GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1, those feel like at a point now where it's like those would be kind of more in the realm of necessary for a remaster on current gen, while this it feels so unnecessary other than just a cash grab and just advertisement for the show. And that's where it's like, I'm with you, where it's like it doesn't really set right at all. So, especially coming back to the whole main argument of, hey, it's $70 fucking.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
I mean, it's a rough thing. I mean, have they said whether it's just going to be The Last of Us or is it going to have the Left Behind DLC with it?
Now that I haven't actually seen. I haven't seen anything if they're going to have the DLC with it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it might just be The Last of Us. And the stuff that they're doing with like the haptic feedback, like that all looks dope. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, it looks great on any PlayStation 5 game.
It's not $20 more worth
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's not like they're hammering so much like on the graphics, and the graphics look great. Good job, guys. But
I got 3 copies of Last of Us on PS3. I'll go play that again.
yeah, like it's fine.
It's one of those things where it's like, I understand it's like newer games, they're going to hammer graphics, or when they're porting up old games, they want to hammer in how much nicer it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is nice. The thing is, you don't necessarily need to focus on the graphics. It's like they might be focusing on it because that's what they did. It's like, I mean, hell, I've spent every game I've played in the last week is like, I mean, they're all like 2D games, or like, it's like they're not great looking games. It's
Right.
like everything is just, it's like they look like games that probably could have come out 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Just, it's like gameplay is a lot of fun on them, but graphics aren't that big of a deal if that's your only selling point.
True.
For bringing up a higher price tag on it.
True. And with the lack of gameplay improvements, I saw one guy, and I've already shouted him out. Gene Parker shouted him out a couple weeks ago. He says he got diagnosed with cancer, whatever. I saw him put out a tweet where he was just like, that he's like, the biggest thing that disappoints me or whatever about the lack of gameplay enhancements is it means that Joel is only going to have his one stealth takedown of the chokehold.
Yep.
Where like in the second game there was so much more, because he's just like, man, I know the game is supposed to be a stealth game, but the first game I just go full aggro because there's only one stealth takedown you can do. So he's like, I just go in guns blazing with the first game because of that. So it's just little niche things like that I'm seeing the community talk about. It's just like, oh man, that kind of sucks, because like I don't, like, for example, I don't, if I remember right, you can't even go prone in the first game. Like just a random little thing like that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't go prone. It's just like little things where it's like, that seems like such a small detail of why is it not in the game. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it should be in the game, but I don't know. But apparently, again, it's a remake built from the ground up, apparently. I don't know. I mean, it's been a very interesting controversy to follow this week. I mean, even before when I was under the impression it was just a full remake, I had zero intentions on getting this game. Now it's like in the negatives. Like it's because that price tag's fucking stupid in my opinion. But Naughty Dog, the king of false advertising. I will stand by that.
I don't know.
I
They're
don't know.
second.
Who's first for you?
Blue Box.
You know what? Fair. That's fair. All right, yeah, Naughty Dog's number 2 behind Blue Box. That's totally fair. Shout out to Blue Box Game Studios. What a legend.
Not a shout out
John
to
is
Blue
now
Box.
done.
Why are
John
we
is
still
done.
fucking talking about goddamn Blue Box?
Because
You two can't fucking let it go.
no, because they are the worst in advertising.
How are they still a company?
They set a standard
Yep.
for poor advertising.
That's true.
And how a company should be dead.
Yep.
So until someone surpasses them,
They have to be mentioned.
they're going to be on the back burner
Yep, they have to be mentioned.
as a throwout.
Yep. Hey, that was one of the best story arcs of Game Static. Was the Blue Box
When
story
we got our
arc.
friggin' aluminum Blue Box hats.
Yeah. That was a great time. I enjoyed those episodes quite a bit. So fuck off, John. John was at the time to help me with editing, and I'd send him stuff, and John's like, "Fuck, another thing about Blue Box."
It wasn't even just. It was like you would send me like it'd be like a segment of show like 10, 15, or like 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah,
Other segment of show like 6 minutes or something like that. Blue Box. 37 minutes.
It was a conspiracy theory, John.
We were diving down the rabbit hole.
I mean, after like 6 weeks of these like 30-minute Blue Box segments, I was like, God damn, dude, come on, guys, come on.
Look, Zach and I were feeding off each other with that. Okay, we were having a good time.
Yeah, someone should have taken the food away.
Yeah, because I remember like one of the first times we jumped into it, I started and I kind of stopped. Like, all right, no, we're doing this. And Zach's just like, all right, down the rabbit hole we go. Nah, that was good times, man. Good times. But
I mean, speaking of good times, how's Fire Emblem?
yeah, Fire Emblem, man, I'm free. Boys, I'm
You
free.
can say good times with that.
Well, that's a fair point. I'm free. And you know what?
See, this is such a stark contrast compared to any time we ask you about Three Houses.
I know, man. I was having a great time for like 12 chapters. And then it really started. There was that stretch from like chapter 11ish to probably like 15 of just, oh, dude, that stretch beat me the hell down. Once I got to 15, it got a little bit better because I got hit with story mission after story mission. You know, I didn't have to go back to the map, you know?
Yeah.
And that wasn't that bad. But man, that game beat me down. Overall, like, it's not a bad game because I get that it's a Warriors game.
Yeah.
I get that's what goes into it. It's just a ton of content. I will say, with a heavy heart, the ending for Golden Wildfire was horribly lackluster. Horribly lackluster. And I didn't get like details on how the other ones ended, but apparently they all kind of end the same way, where it's like a horribly lackluster ending of where it's like, you know, I don't want to say too much to spoil it because I mean it's such a long game for some people, but it is just a very lackluster ending. I mean, the last mission for Golden Wildfire at least was super dope. Like I had a dope time there. For in my case, I guess I will spoil this part because I imagine it'll be different for everyone, so it doesn't completely matter. My last boss was Rhea in this one, which was super cool because I want to say like in Three Houses, I want to say like your last boss was Rhea, right? In Black, okay. So that was cool, and man, there was a lot of awesome fighting there, a lot of strategy that kind of had to go into it because like, dude, Ray was fucking putting the beat down on my units. I mean, it came down where I only had like 3 of my guys left out on the battlefield. Everyone else was almost fucking dead.
Damn.
Had the ending closing bit was super cool as well. There's this sweet shot that'd be a dope ass wallpaper of when Ray is in the Immaculate One form, hits the ground and Claude's just standing there with his bow. Sweet wallpaper shot right there. But I mean, like, the ending was just so horribly lackluster because like it doesn't wrap anything up. That's what makes it bad. I mean, you'll just have to complete it to see what I'm talking about, but it doesn't wrap any. Yeah, it doesn't wrap in, and I fully anticipate that. I mean, every other Warriors game. I mean, all the Warriors games have DLC, right? Like, okay, so the ones you play don't.
I mean,
because obviously the Nintendo ones do.
So I guess DLC in terms of what Warriors game usually have is not necessarily story based. They just add more characters.
Okay, yeah, but bottom line is there's always DLC.
Something, yes.
Okay, so that's what I was referring to. I wasn't referring to story content.
Okay,
I just meant DLC.
Say story-based DLC? Nope.
No. I just meant
That was funny.
I just meant DLC in general because, like, I know all the other Nintendo Warriors games all have DLC, which is all just characters. So I am curious, like, if they do have the DLC. I am curious because of like how Three Houses is and how like this universe is. I am curious if they will have story content as a 4th route, because from what I kind of understand from the other 2 routes, they are different, but they all end in this lackluster way, right? Where it's like, these characters haven't been resolved yet. These characters are still alive, etc. So I am kind of curious.
This is why you just kill everybody.
Basically. So I am kind of curious if they do have DLC, which I fully anticipate them to have for at least characters, if they will have an actual 4th story route for a DLC. I don't know. Based on how Three Houses is, I feel like that's something they may actually do because like Three Houses had their 4th route. So I don't know. It's just something to kind of keep in mind. I will say if they do a character DLC, I'd be very curious of who they would add. Because like I'm curious if they would just do like original characters by chance, or maybe they'll give like human forms for the other two saints. you know, because obviously Seteth and Flame are two of them, and then the other two you do get introduced to in Three Houses in paralogs, but they're in their dragon forms. So maybe they could be characters. I mean, we got Holst introduced in this game, you know, as well as other key characters like Lawrence's father and stuff like that. You know, as well as like Nemesis. Will maybe Nemesis be a character? Will maybe any of the 10 elites be characters? Because they all have character designs. It's like they have to make something up. So I'm going to be very curious to see what they do. Yeah, I would say Nemesis is a possibility, and my Hail Mary pitch is going to be like those two dragons.
You know what the greatest DLC map would be? Just a free map where you just choose a faction and then conquer.
I mean, that would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. I'd be here for that. But alas, probably won't get that.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Oh, another one that I could see them adding is the Abyss Keeper. I could see them adding the Abyss Keeper. Gatekeeper's in the game, so I could see them getting the Abyss Keeper as a playable character. Which getting the Gatekeeper is a very stupid way to get. Like, he is the hardest character to get. Not necessarily meaning like it's actually hard. It's just takes a lot of time because you have to beat like all 3 story routes to unlock the Gatekeeper as a playable character. That's
okay.
That's a time chunk. That's, you know, but I mean, it was all right though. It was all right. You know, very lackluster ending though. Very broke my heart. Like when the credits started rolling, I'm just like, that's it, really.
And then you saw the end screen and went, I'm free.
I did, yeah. I got pumped. I was like, oh my god, I'm free. I was like, all right, you know I'm not gonna pick this up anytime soon. So let's at least start a new one just to see what New Game Plus offers and then get the fuck out. So I immediately got in. The first thing that it lets me pull in is all supports. So you know, you can choose who you want to pull into, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
So you can choose to have it all just wiped clean. You can choose like, oh yeah, you know, I kind of want to only have like, you know, my character be max support with, you know, Lycitia and Leone and you know, Claude, and that's it. You know, if you're doing Golden Deer again, for example, and then everyone else rebuild it. You know, so that was kind of interesting. Guys, I got to say, like, I got to the first mission, you know, like, I got to the camp, and I was done. I was like, I can't go any further. Like, so I don't know what else New Game Plus offers, because I know I didn't get far enough to find out.
Well, damn.
I couldn't do it. You know, I was geared up for, like, the next mission, and I could not do it. I couldn't bring myself. I was like, no, I don't want to do it again.
You sent like a message or like a screenshot or something being like, I'm finished. I'm going to check out the New Game Plus options. I was just waiting for like 2 hours later to go, oh shit, I'm playing it again.
No, I couldn't do it, man. That game broke the shit out of me. Can't do it. Now I'll talk about the cat game, though.
Hey guys, future me here. So a quick disclaimer before we jump into this portion of the show. I didn't realize this in the moment. I had like just beat Stray that day. I just got caught up in the moment, I guess, and I wasn't really thinking. But I actually gave a pretty decent amount of spoilers now that I think about it. So I just want to give that disclaimer. If you want to play this game and you don't want to be spoiled, that's why we got the timestamps. Just go ahead and skip to the next segment. TLDR, great game. I definitely recommend playing it. I personally want to buy it when physical release comes out, because I played it on PlayStation Plus Premium. I gave it 8 out of 10. Very fun game. Highly recommend. With that said, if you don't care about spoilers, let's just get into the segment. If not, skip to the next one. All right, bye.
Stray came out this week. Download it for PlayStation Plus Premium. Did beat the game. It is a short game. Very short game. I mean, you can beat it in like 5 hours. My play time was like 4 hours, 45 minutes, I think. If you want 100%, it'd be like more like probably like 7 hours or so to find all the collectibles, you know, that you can find and everything. But it is a very fun game. It's just obviously a puzzle game. Puzzle stealth adventure game is the best way to put it. Just following this cat's journey, where the cat's with his family at the beginning, like above the city that the game takes place in, and you're just kind of roaming around. Pipe kind of falls, and cat takes a massive plunge into this city where no chance this cat would actually live. I don't think.
It is a horrifying.
Yeah,
it is a horrifying scene to watch.
It is. Yeah, it is. No chance this cat fucking lives IRL, in my opinion. That is way too far of a fall.
It's like it shows like 15 seconds of the cat falling through different types of environments. Basically, that cat should have been dead.
Yeah,
damn,
straight up dead. Yeah, so you basically get trapped in this massive city that's currently locked off, right? Because the way that you fall in, it was kind of like a drainage, like sewer system, essentially. And once you kind of come out of that, you're in this city that's just kind of closed off. Think of like basically like a gigantic vault from like Fallout, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the vibe of like you're just like in this city, just completely closed off. And at the end of the game, you actually get to see the city. from up above in like the control room. So to kind of get a visual image of the city for you guys, think of bossing say, but a giant fucking roof over it.
Oh, okay.
That's literally what it like when I'm sitting here looking at this, because like there's even one part where like you see like all the slums and shit, and then there's another massive wall in the middle of the city with another set of the city and at a higher altitude. So I'm like, this is like Boss Sing Se basically, just with how all the walls around and shit. That's kind of what I envisioned. And all you're trying to do is just get out of the city. It's a post-apocalyptic world. Humans aren't a thing. You don't really get to find out really what happened to them, and if you do, maybe I just missed it. I don't feel like I did. I don't feel like it was really addressed other than they're not here. That was kind of it, is they're just not here. You get encountered with like these like little, almost like I think of like the little like larva flood from Halo in a way, but they have eyes. They're called Zerks. Like you see a bunch of them where they just have like infestation all over the walls and shit, and they basically just eat anything. They can kill you. They will jump on you. You like shake them off and shit. And you find out through just like different pieces of content that you can read and stuff that these Zerks ended up starting eating metal as well. So all these robots that live in the city, as now they're at risk. So like the couple areas that you get to go to where you get to interact with the robots, they're completely closed off from like infected parts of this city.
Gotcha.
And the thing that's interesting about these robots is like these robots have taken on a mind of their own, in the sense of like they believe like they are fully living organisms essentially. Like they let me rephrase that. They know they're robots, but they are truly taking on like hard personalities.
Gotcha.
Like they're living life like a human would, like having jobs even though they really don't need jobs. They need clothes, they need blankets, whatever. So it's very kind of fascinating to kind of watch all this kind of develop with all the different robots that you meet throughout the game. And like one of the first ones, like in terms of key characters, one of the first ones that you meet is a character named Momo, who he and some friends of his, other robots, had spent years trying to escape. They want to go outside, they want to get out of the city. And then so pretty much a majority of your game is essentially meeting the other three, because they're no longer in this main area that you first get into, like the main like town, the slums is what it was called. Like they're no longer in there. So you first have to find this character, then you find this character, then you find this character, and it's all just like a step by step of them helping you get out, because like they're called the Outsiders. It's just their group. Like when you meet the last one, and the last one essentially sacrifices itself. It does not in a death sense, but like, hey, I'm gonna I'll distract what's called the Sentinels, which is another group of like AI that act as like a police force, a very brutal police force. Like this one sacrifices like to distract them, let the cat get away, and it's just like, hey, you're one of us now. The Outsiders was never about all of us getting out. It's about at least someone getting out. That was the whole play. The little B12 robot that's on your back, whatever, that you meet and it follows with you throughout the whole game. Your Navi, essentially. You get to dive more into their backstory. Because at first it seems like a normal robot, no big deal, little bot, little AI bot,
Yeah.
whatever. And then as throughout the game, you can find, this is part of the collectibles part, you can find like different portions to unlock this bot's memories, because it doesn't it for the longest time it thought that it had a scientist that developed it. The scientist is gone, because all the humans are gone, and that was kind of the impression. And then as more memories started to come unlocked, the bot had the realization that this it remembered that it was actually human at one point and put its brain inside this bot.
Oh.
That it's memory. So that's like a big moment there. And then as the game kind of goes on, it just continues to help you get point A to point B to where you can finally get out of the city. It was a very fun game. Music was top tier. Love the music throughout the whole thing. It's just a nice little puzzle game. There's lots of different ways that you can go about doing stuff. And I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I'll probably pick up the physical release when it comes out, and I could see a sequel coming, because number one, it doesn't finish things off with and like, oh my god, you found your family, end of the story, yay! It ends with you getting out of the city, and plus with how they the city, was just there. This is where I kind of related with the Fallout thing, is that the cities are numbered apparently. In whatever this world is, because this particular large city that you're in is City 99, or whatever it was properly called, whatever 99. So I am curious if there is going to be sequels where, number one, you're trying to get back with your family, and number two, if you get to go to another one of the cities. But I mean, overall, I really enjoyed the game for what it was. I mean, if you got PlayStation Plus, I'd definitely I'd recommend buying it. Honestly, I'd buy it for $30. I want to buy the physical release. Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was very, very fun, especially when I went into the game really not knowing what it was. Because even you asked me, it's like, "What is this game?" And I'm just like, "I don't know." And you're like, "Alex, you're the one that's excited for it." I was like, "I don't know. There's a cat. That's all I can tell you." You get a lot of cute moments though. You get a lot of cute moments with the cat, so that's always nice. It's always devastating when the cat dies. I died a few times, unfortunately. That's a devastating experience. Very heartbreaking, but no, I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the different interactions with like the robots and stuff, because like they do have like emotions and everything. Because like it's like the third city that I came into called Midtown. There's like this random dude just sleeping on a couch, random robot sleeping on a couch on the side of the alleyway. And you can you can go up to him and jump on his chest and like curl up and fall asleep, whatever. It's like whenever you do that, he kind of like, what the fuck? And he sees that there's a cat and like all the robots, like their faces are like a TV screen. So he's just sitting there looking at you. Then his like face just becomes like a full heart, and he just puts his hat back on, and leans back, and you just go to sleep with him. So it's just like little cute moments like that. It was a good game though. I really enjoyed it.
Well, glad you got to live your life as a cat.
Yep.
Did you see the mods that people did for it?
No,
Oh, God.
I have not seen any mods actually. What have they done?
It's like there was a group that modded the game so that instead of meowing, the cat screamed Jason.
Yes.
Because people cannot get enough of it.
God dang it.
That's incredible. No, I'm gonna have to go look at that. I'm gonna go look at some mods. I didn't know. I didn't.
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't realize people were already modding it. I figured they would.
I had
Makes
just
sense,
I
but-
had like immediately seen like people were trying to do it, and then I think they had actually got it working.
right.
But yeah, I had seen that. I was like, that is just
That's
that is-
awful.
That's great.
Yeah. No, if I had to rate, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I'd say 8 out of 10. I think is pretty fun. I mean, it go into it expecting it won't take you that long. You can beat it in
Seem
one
to be
sitting.
a little harsher than most critics.
Yeah, most people are giving it like a 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's getting
yeah.
9 to
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, it's getting a
everywhere.
lot of high scores.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
My only complaint with the game, I guess, is, and like, I understand it's like a puzzle game. Like, I get it, but like, I do wish there was a more of an emphasis on like combat versus the Zergs, because there was a section in the game where you did get a chance to actually fight back, where your little B12 got hooked up, because like these Zergs, they die to like extreme light. They just like pop like the flood or whatever. And there was a portion of the game where your B12 got equipped with a light. It's a big, super bright light that you could use to like just kill all the Zergs and stuff. But like it was a very short-lived moment where, the way they kind of built it is like, oh yeah, this is here for the rest of the game for you. But then it obviously comes to a point where it's just like, oh hey, that's fried. I can't do that anymore. So it was just very, very short lived. You know what I mean? So like while I didn't want like a large amount, I didn't go into the game expecting combat, but like once you got to experience it, where you're like, oh yeah, I get to finally fight back some, because it's not like it was overpowered. It only lasted for a few seconds before I had to recharge. Like it really wasn't that. It wasn't that defining, but it still is. You still had to run for your fucking life and try to shake these things off. But it still would have been nice to like maybe keep that in the game. You know what I mean? Not a groundbreaking thing, but that was really my only major complaint, I would say.
You're a cat, not Rambo.
I know. But either way, 8 out of 10. I think it's a fun game. Go play it. It's fun. What about Multiversus? How's Multiversus treating you?
I mean, Multiverse is still very fun. Iron Giant is a prick. No, legitimately. So Iron Giant's still an experimental, so they may change him a bit before official release, but like his character model compared to everyone else is about twice the size.
Yep.
He takes up the whole damn map.
It's like a Ridley situation.
Yes.
Yep.
It's stupid. I mean, he has the best hitbox for you if you're an assassin character, though, because you just beat the crap out of him. But for anyone else, Iron Giant's just like, oh, that's fun. Schmack. Or picks you up and literally just throws you. I mean, overall, I'm still having fun with it, especially since the last beta. It is in early access this week, so it goes into open beta on the 26th. Actually, when this episode, a couple days before this episode. I forgot our upload. Is it Tuesdays?
It's Tuesdays, but I'll probably upload this early.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into the habit of trying to upload the episodes early.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get into.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't remember it uploading Tuesday, but as I was
because
saying,
I'm probably going to change like Animan Plus's upload date. I'm going to try to start hitting that Saturday mornings if I can. And I was going to probably bump this one up to at least Mondays for now. I mean, we're going live anyway, but
Gotcha.
I'm trying to come out earlier.
So the 26th is when it goes into full open beta, along with the release of LeBron James.
Yep.
Dude, that trailer looked fucking crazy.
I mean, I saw it and I went, I see how all his skills work, and I was like, he's gonna be a pain in the ass to fight.
It was. I mean, yeah. I watched like the trailer that you posted about it, and I was like, holy shit! Talk about just giving someone everything.
Yeah, he's gonna be a pain in the ass to go up against. But I mean, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to be able to play Taz against him because Taz's whole thing is like he's supposed to be a slight counter to projectile users because he can swallow your projectiles and throw them back at you.
Yeah.
So LeBron tries and passes Taz the rock. He swallows it and throws it back at him. I mean, so far all the characters still have they fixed some kinks in here and there from the last beta. All the characters are still very fun. The big thing with it is they do have a small battle pass for this, which I'm sort of iffy about their battle pass just because the progression of it seems slow to me at the moment. Because you get 6 daily missions, which each gives 100 XP towards the battle pass, but each tier takes anywhere from the starting takes like 100, but slowly progresses up to like 600 and increasing ongoing. So if you do the dailies, you get maybe a level, and that requires you to do specific things like do so much damage in one match, do certain things first before anyone else, actually win matches as a certain class. Then you have the seasonal missions, which provides about 600, so 1 block. So once you run out of those, it's sort of like, all right, now what? Because for each match, unless you only get about 10 XP towards it, unless you run a full 3 round, and then you get 30.
Yeah, battle passes. I don't know.
It sounds like you're burnt.
I'm very like iffy on battle passes for the most part. Some games do battle passes perfectly fine. But I don't know. I'm not as big on battle passes, or I prefer if it's just generic things.
Yeah.
I hate when battle passes are like, now go do this with this character. It's like, well, I don't play that character. It's like but now I have to go try to do stuff with that character, even though that's not what I'm doing, regardless of the game itself.
Yeah.
Because it's like, but yeah, no, it's like that stuff, especially when they start increasing the amount, because it drastically increasing or exponentially increasing the amount of XP it takes per tier. It's like it's like if you don't want people to get it, or if you want it to start taking longer to unlock things, just make your experience bars smaller overall instead of making it 100 or giving you like one mission, or like 100 is your one and one mission gives you 100 points. Make the missions give you like 20 or something. It's like progress it that way. Don't just start making it where if you complete, like you start with, oh, I completed that mission. Oh, I got a battle pass reward. And then eventually get to, well, I completed all 6 of them and I got it now.
Well, I don't know how much exponentially it increases because with their small little battle pass doing for this beta, it's only 15 blocks. And so far I'm halfway through it and none has increased higher than 600. So 600 may be their max. So like 1 block a day, which meh.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those where it's like it can, especially because I mean, granted, I don't know how long the beta is running.
Pretty much 2 or 3 weeks. I forget.
Because at that point it's like if you're getting halfway through and it's 600 per, I don't know how many seasonal rewards are in there. I haven't looked at it personally, but if you have to do every daily mission and complete all of that to get 1 level on it, then it's like that can get frustrating because then it's like if you miss a day or if you don't hop on, then then it feels bad.
Yeah.
It's like it's the feel bad when the amount of time you have to put in, it's like you have to log in, you have to do all your dailies on it to get the rewards.
Yes.
Eventually.
That's one of the few things with it that I'm sort of like meh about, just because their battle pass system could use a bit of tinkering for people who actually want to go full deep into that.
Yeah.
With playing and whatnot. The the other interesting thing is that the founder packs. So they got a
I was noticing these.
yeah. So they got a $40, $60, and then $100. For the most part, it's all cosmetic stuff for the most part, and just getting special things. Hey, you supported the game early on enough and whatnot. The big thing I got from it was that you get character tickets, which automatically unlocks characters for you.
Yep.
If you do the 30, you get 15. It's either 10 or 15.
It's 15.
It's 15, which is enough tickets to get that initial cast characters currently -1. So, which I guess technically you'd have extra tickets because there's already a free rotation. You automatically unlock Wonder Woman for doing the tutorial, and then one character for finishing all the opening tutorial missions. So it's enough to get all current roster. Then the $100 one, which is the max, gives you 30. So at this point in time, it's definitely stating at least 30 characters are going to be in the roster, which is a nice to know.
That's a nice number.
Yeah, that's a nice at least starting roster, depending on if they're going to continue it afterwards.
Yeah,
Especially since this is going to be a free-to-play game once it actually comes out.
true.
In which there's already been some slight leaks and whatnot, and people speculating that we definitely got LeBron James. There's definitely speculation of Rick and Morty being in it just because Mr. Meeseeks is already in the game.
I'm actually looking at that right now. Yeah, it's happened to be on my Twitter timeline right here.
Yeah. And then there was a leaked picture at one point that had Gandalf. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Gandalf the Grey,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, let's go.
I don't
Let's
know
go.
if that one's ever gonna come out, but there was a leaked picture at one point that had Gandalf the Grey amongst the roster, along with Rick Sanchez.
One thing I wanted to ask is progression towards unlocking characters.
It's not bad. I mean, so each character also has a level track, and that one's actually pretty easy to finish out the level track for the characters and finish out their own personal rewards. For actually unlocking characters themselves, I'm going to be curious about it because, I mean, it's not bad. So they have tiers like most. If it's a recommended character, which are essentially the easy characters, they cost 1,500 coins. For regular characters at normal difficulty, 2,000, and then for what are considered the expert, 3,000. I mean, it doesn't take terribly long to rack up coins if you're actually playing because you get at least 100 for a 1 round. If you do a full 3 round and win. Oh wait, am I doing that backwards? I'm doing that backwards because that's XP. I know I'm usually getting somewhere between 50 and like 150 coins.
Okay,
A
so
match.
probably between match or a set, basically, you
Yeah.
can get 50 to 100. That's not bad.
Yeah, 50, and I mean, sometimes I'm scratching 200. I haven't really been paying attention to the coins too much and per progression, per match. I just know I've racked up a decent amount with the bit I've played to be able to purchase at least one character from the initial 2,000 you get for completing all the tutorial stuff, and then at least another 2,000 get another character if I wanted.
Okay. That was. It's a weird the way my brain is thinking about unlocking characters in games with like that have their currency system towards it.
Mm-hmm.
My brain went, okay, what is on the scale of like League to Apex? Because in League, if you like between character or like a new character coming out, or if you played solidly like when they were releasing characters all the time, if you played for the week, you would be able to get like a decent amount. You would have enough currency to get the character.
Yeah.
Whereas Apex, you have to play the shit out of that game.
Yeah, you got to play the shit out of it.
It's like you got to play it a lot to get enough of the currency to unlock a new character.
I was about to say, if you end up playing Multiversus consistently, you'll end up having plenty of coins to buy characters.
It's one of those where it's like casual friendly towards unlocking characters through just playing the game.
Yeah, because I was gonna buy a character, but I may save my coins and just get LeBron when he comes out Tuesday. Honestly, I saw that LeBron trailer and went, all right, that's it. Multiversus is more ambitious than Smash.
No, that's accurate. And you know what the thing is, though? I guarantee you Sakurai wishes he could be that ambitious. He's shackled. He's shackled by Nintendo, I promise you. Sakurai had to be the kind of guy to have a good time like that.
And the great thing about it is they have announcer packs for all the characters, which is very cheap. You can only get it by getting the in-game currency, but it's 100, so it's $1 announcer pack. So I might buy, because I have Bugs Bunny and Taz right now, which are entertaining. So
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. This game looks ridiculous and it looks fun.
I mean, it is fun. And I can definitely feel it because during the close, it's mostly just people who have already played the game in one of the previous close things. So there's some you can definitely see a skill tier right now. So
Okay.
I'm going to be curious how much it's going to change when Tuesday happens and it pops off for everybody.
You're in there with the sweaties trying to figure out their mains.
I mean, and I'm getting there because I flex on Taz, which Taz is sort of I'm gonna be honest, Taz is probably not the most difficult character to figure out because he's a horizontal type. More or less, you go in, you smash people, and you spin to win.
Yeah.
So Meta Knight.
Yes.
It seems a bit gimmicky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus when I do Harley Quinn, which I'm getting down, is she's a vertical, so her main setup is getting your ass in the air and throwing you up the top of the building. Which she's very fun as well. Because, I mean, I flex on Taz, Harley Quinn, and Jake the dog.
Yeah, because I do eventually want to sit down and actually try to get into this game.
It has crossplay. Just let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And the crossplay so far from both the times I've been part of the betas has been seamless. I mean, there's a slight... Sometimes when it's me and 3 PCs, there's a slight time lag for me in loading in versus them, but not enough to make it significant.
Okay.
Is there still an actual time period when the game's fully coming out?
Not that I've paid
Just this
attention
year?
to. Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
I think they're getting pretty close to full release though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Whenever it fully comes out, I'll probably download it and play with you guys.
You have access to it, bro.
I know I do. I gotta use that code. I've been very busy this week, personally. I've been very busy recently. Okay. Fuck off. I've been very busy. Very, very busy.
Man, that was not helpful. I was like, all right, well, I'll just go to the Steam page of Multiversus and see what it says. It says July 19th.
Oh, so this open beta may just be straight early access then, maybe.
Yeah, it's just showing July 19th for the purposes of people are in there and can play it right now
Gotcha.
with the early access and leave reviews and that.
Gotcha.
But you can't just go in and download it.
Cool.
So it's like that was not as helpful as I was hoping it would be.
Just doing a quick Google search on it, all it says is for initial release is July 2022. So maybe that is just early access release. So it's already out then,
Well,
essentially.
yeah, it's the early access is out now, and it's like it's open and available for people to leave reviews on Steam on. But I assume when it goes into it's the open beta essentially is when they're gonna it's the soft release of it, where they're gonna be like, we're just gonna play this and roll it into the full game probably.
I like this article title from The Verge. Under top stories, it says Multiversus adds Fortnite characters, LeBron James and Rick and
I
Morty.
meant to send that to you earlier. I meant to screenshot that and send it to you because I was like, that is somebody that is somebody who writes Fortnite articles
Yes.
and knows nothing else.
Yes.
That person.
Oh man,
Oh,
I
that's
totally
funny.
forgot to send that to you earlier.
That's
I was
funny.
laughing my ass off at that.
That person needs help.
Yeah. They need some
Adds
assistance.
Fortnite characters,
Yeah,
LeBron,
Like when
Rick
I
and
saw
Morty.
when I saw that earlier, I
Damn.
just stared at it and kind of laughed at it for a couple minutes. I was like, I've never read something that disappointed me so much.
Oh man.
But I mean, I am curious to see what actual roster we're gonna get because there's been several speculation and whatnot, and yeah, because I just seeing this current roster, I'm just like, this isn't what I expected for team ups, but I mean, I'm okay with it.
It's enough of a random good time, you know.
When I roll into a game as Harley Quinn and I'm backed by Arya Stark, I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Might as well, man.
Right.
Because what I want to see is random Scooby Doo villains.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Probably. I mean, hell, you'll probably get them.
Add like
they
just
might as well.
some notable ones, you know,
Yeah,
like from the
because-
movies.
Because, like, out of speculation, the only character that's been teased through leaks is Scooby
No,
for Scooby Doo itself
Yeah.
at this point.
because they have Shaggy and Velma right now, right?
Yes.
How does Velma play?
Velma is broken to shit.
Is she okay? That makes perfect sense that she is.
Because
'Cause,
like,
like,
her,
I
her
wanna-
basic attacks, like her side attack, it isn't just like a fist or anything. Shit, it's literally just speech bubbles. It's her just
That
saying.
does
It's her
not
just
shock
saying
me.
phrase words and hitting you with it. She throws like a chemical on the ground where if you stand on it for long enough, you freeze in an ice block. She sprints across the map or lane, and anyone who's in front of her, she just picks up, takes them to the other end, and just throws their ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then her other thing is, I still haven't figured out what the hell it does. It makes her and her allies' heads extra large. They get big head mode for some reason. I haven't figured out what the point of that is.
That doesn't shock me because, like, when it comes to these sort of games, right? The oddball characters that get added in are always fucking broken. Where it's just like, why would you be in the game? You know, they are always so good because that applies to like Smash. Like, because I remember, because like I don't know how it is now. I have not watched any Smash like Ultimate competitive, but I know like at least in Smash 4, like when Duck Hunt Dog was a thing, like
Yeah.
dude, Duck Hunt Dog is so fucking good, but it's such an oddball character. Same thing with when Unite initially came out. Camerupt was awesome. When Camarant, sorry, Cramorant. God, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Cramorant. When Cramorant, like when the game that he was busted, and he was like the most oddball member of the group.
Yes.
So it's just like that makes so much sense that Velma's busted as
And
shit.
then he was a Gatling bird.
Dude, true.
I mean, so far all the characters are fairly. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, John. You're gonna get this. It's like Smite balanced.
Oh, yeah.
All the characters are broken and it works together.
Balancing of Smite. Everyone, if one character is, it's the mentality of one character is strong. Don't nerf character, buff everyone else.
Yes.
Man, I haven't played Smite in a while. Smite's fun.
Because, I mean, I have run into a game with just about every character where they've been, with the person playing them, has been very overpowering and just dominant at times. I think the only one I have yet to see, just because I haven't seen a whole lot of people playing them, is Granite.
Okay.
But I remember from the previous closed beta, I ran into a couple Granite players who were very good.
Okay.
So I have not seen a character so far that's just like, oh, that's awful. It's just a thing of people learning the mechanics.
Yeah.
Like in Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry initially was like, I don't get it, but I've seen people who have figured Tom and Jerry out and just gone to town on people.
Right. It's like, oh, this clicks, and they just do their thing.
Yeah, because Tom and Jerry's weird.
Okay.
I'll be excited when I actually jump into it and try to figure out who I'm gonna play. It'll be fun.
Zach's just like, let's go. I'm ready.
And which, from what I've seen, they do plan on having a free rotation of characters too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean that's. I almost said that's should be standard.
Yeah.
Which I mean, in any game, just about any game where if it's going to be a free to play game and you're going to have a roster of characters that you have to unlock, might as well have a free rotation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone's just going to play the same character.
True. All right, let's move on. I got a couple more topics here for talking points, and we'll hit the weekly wrap up. So first, let's talk about Halo Infinite here. So
Why?
yeah, I know, I know. So apparently, with the Halo Infinite multiplayer, it's apparently reportedly causing players to lose quite a bit of their internet if you're in a situation where you don't have unlimited, which I have completely forgotten that's still a thing for people. Because I've had unlimited internet for so long, but that is still a thing for people. Where apparently one single game is eating up a gig of internet. Oof. Yeah, which that's pretty hefty. And 343 is acknowledged this and investigating why and how this is happening. So not going to really dive too much into that unless you guys want to. The more thing I wanted to kind of dive into, because I saw a lot of people putting this in comments of like this article from VGC. I was just kind of thought it'd be a fun conversation here. Is Halo Infinite because of this, because of everything that's happened with like the campaign and no Forge and the lack of content, how they've handled the game so far? Is this like at this point, do you guys consider this one of not the biggest, but one of the bigger gaming failures in history? Because I saw a lot of people throwing that out there. And I think it actually has a fair argument. I'm not going to call it a bust because the game itself is still fun, but there's been so many problems with this game. I would personally consider it in the list somewhere of biggest gaming failures. I was kind of curious you guys' take on
I
it.
wouldn't necessarily call it one of the biggest gaming failures, just because, at least that to me, the term failure makes it seem like the game was a bust and
Yeah.
dead. I would definitely consider it one of the, in the realm of one of the games with the most controversies at this time.
That's true.
That's happened at this time.
I would say I wouldn't call it like a overall a failure.
Mhm.
I would say I would phrase it more as wasted potential,
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
because the game had so much
Sure.
potential. It had everyone was jumping into it, ready to play it and all that, and then they've done absolutely nothing.
Yep.
They've pushed everything back. They've not delivered. They haven't. It's like they haven't brought any like big updates that people were hoping for, and nothing has really changed. But it's like they were hoping that the same. It's like just jumping into it. Here's a few maps. Here's some game modes, and that this will carry you through like it did 10 years ago. We're not 10 years ago anymore.
No.
People have a vast library of like free games to go play instead of this, and they've chosen to do that because they didn't do anything to entice them to stay.
Right.
But
And I will say I do think the while I do think it could make an argument for a gaming failure, I do think the argument can be made. I will say I do still think the potential for this game is still there. It's just going to be a matter of once the stuff comes out that we've been waiting on, how good is it going to be? I think that's going to make or break the game, obviously. Because, like, I mean, the co-op campaign, it blows me away that that's still not out. But, like, just talking about Forge, there was some, like, leaked Forge video here recently. I don't know if it was leaked or, just, or insiders using it. Where Forge is, as advertised, more expansive than you can even possibly imagine. So stuff like that, I think, could put the game back in a better light in a way. But it's still also going to come back to, once these couple things are done, once these big checklist items are out of co-op campaign and Forge, and they can strictly focus on multiplayer, what's going to come with it? You know what I mean? To entice you to come back and stay.
Well, you go, John.
I was just gonna say the problem with that is the multiplayer has been out now for what, 8 months?
Yeah, 8 months or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
It's been out for 8 months. It was like
Poppin'.
6 months ago. It was hot. Everybody was in. Everybody was excited about it. It's like Halo esports was starting to pop back up.
Yep.
Everybody was raring to go on it. The problem is, at this point, the game has lost like 95% of its population,
Yep.
at least on PC. I don't know about consoles. But like on PC, it's lost like 95% of its population.
Mm.
It's like, and bringing in the co-op campaign, yeah, people might jump into it for a weekend to play with their friends. The Forge, people might pick it up and go, okay, well, let me go see if I can remake this old map that I made in like Halo 3 or Halo 4 or something like that.
I think Forge will be a game changer.
Well, here the thing is, I don't agree. I think it would have been a game changer, but they've missed their window.
That's fair.
I think with all the bad publicity they've had and the player kind of outrage at not getting the updates or not having the tools there, and we've said this before, it was nice that they launched it and it was a surprise launch for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
It wasn't ready. It wasn't close to ready.
Mm-mm.
And it's like, and because of that and all the problems they've had to be fixing on the back end and trying to get the game like stable, essentially, they've not been able to focus on the content and everything that everybody expected to come like in the immediate aftermath of the release. And now, since a large majority of the player base has kind of like walked away from it,
Yeah,
I don't think Forge is enough to bring it back. It'll bring back the people that like making the maps, or they might going in and having a good map editor.
Yeah, and
It's
just
like-
really enjoy Halo.
It's like they'll come in and they'll make their maps and they'll play around with it for a little bit, but they're not going to stay just because of Forge.
It just depends on what comes out of it. It depends on what, because like Forge is like it's with where Halo Infinite is at right now. It's a mindset of, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'll do it myself. You know, the Thanos.
Yeah.
Quote. That's essentially what it is. So it's like once Forge comes out, like if you get those dedicated players like you're talking about that just like love Forge, love Halo, and they get in there and they create some really enticing maps and game modes or whatever, then that could bring some more people back into Halo Infinite. But how much will it spike it? I don't think it's going to be groundbreaking, but I think it'll be enough of a boost to kind of keep the game going for right now.
So you thinking of leaning off that? I feel like Halo Infinite's at that level of No Man's Sky.
Okay.
I feel like at this point, whenever that
comparison.
content comes out, will it bring a lot of people back? No. Will it bring some people back? Yes. But it's going to be a matter of whether the community is going to stay alive and what updates we're going to see and whatnot. Because No Man's Sky now is
Popping.
up there.
Yep.
Like tons of people are playing it. They're constantly doing updates. All the things that people had against No Man's Sky when it first came out.
Greatest redemption arc in history.
Yes. So I feel like Halo Infinite at this point is at that level of No Man's Sky of where it's at the bottom and we won't really get to see wherever it lands until once they get all this stuff out and a year or two later after people have messed with it.
Yeah, because well, I think they missed their window on the Forge. It's not that they've missed their window, and it's like it's not going to be the quite the. I don't think it's going to be quite the game changer. You say it's going to be. I think it's going to be the thing of the people are going to come back. They're going to base. They're probably going to like a lot of the map editors. First thing they're going to do is they're going to jump in and they're going to make their favorite old maps for people to play on, and it's like I think people will enjoy that. They'll kind of go in and do that. But it's not going to be the spike that everybody or that people hope it would be because of that. But to Zach's point, a year from now, it could be a different story. A year from now, there could be enough there for there to at least be like a dedicated fan base for it. Mm-hmm. But that's why I said earlier wasted potential because this game, with how good it felt upon initially jumping in and playing it, it could have thrived where now it's struggling to stay afloat.
Yeah. And I also think, I don't know when any of it's coming out. I mean, it could have been on that roadmap, and I just can't remember. But I think another thing that will also give it a little bit of a boost and it kind of work its way back up, kind of like what you're saying with No Man's Sky, is once they just add in some of these other fucking game modes that are supposed to be in there. You know what I mean? Like add in like the infection that's supposed to be in there. Griffball have its own playlist. Those kind of like not just like standard Slayer and objective like we have just right now. Like add in the more relaxing stuff, I would say. Because I mean, those games like you go into a Slayer match and you go into an objective match, like even if you're a casual player, like you're still like in the mode of all right, let's fucking try to win this shit. You know what I mean? But like you go into infection and Griffball, it's like all right, let's go have a good fucking time. You're just dicking. It's not a big deal. So I think once you get like some just the more game modes, more maps are going to be a big win as well. But like let's just get the more game modes in there and. Forge, whatever. I mean, I think the game could make a No Man's Sky comeback, but it's just how long is it going to take? And, once, these said pieces come out, then how much longer we're going to have to wait for, like, more content since it is that free-to-play formula.
See, the big thing with this is going to be, like, the No Man's Sky thing is a matter of whether 343 will dedicate the time to continue pushing it or whether they feel like they need to cut their losses after so long.
Right.
So I don't want to say that I don't think it'll happen, but I struggle to see how this game, Halo Infinite, could actually do a turnaround. Because the thing that makes No Man's Sky such a great redemption story is it's not what people wanted, but it became what they wanted, which was this space exploration game, being able to go around and kind of do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, Halo is just a different first-person shooter. And the thing is, we got such other good first-person shooters out there right now. In 2022, I don't know if the Halo name itself carries enough for it to distinguish itself just based on that name.
Okay.
Because there's other games out there, like granted, Apex is a battle royale, but it is a fantastic first-person shooter. And if people are just wanting to hop in and play a first-person shooter, that's a solid game that people can jump in, jump out of. But there's maps that rotate through, challenges to doing that. Whereas Halo, right now, you're jumping in, you got your objective mode, you got Slayer, you ain't got much else.
Yeah, you got the few maps.
It's like you got a few maps to play with and all that. And it's like I don't know. It like I said, I don't know if the name Halo carries the weight that it used to carry Infinite long enough for people to, or for the game to get to where people wanted it to be, or for the community to do it themselves. I don't know if the name carries the weight.
Not like it used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much damage is done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, between number one, just how of a disaster of a game Halo 5 was, and you come into Halo Infinite with all the problems that,
it was
the name is damaged.
It's like the name. It's like from the past few games that had been released, they weren't the quality that people wanted. They weren't the games people wanted.
Right.
And then we get Infinite. It's like, oh, it feels great.
Yep. Feels like Halo.
But there's nothing.
Yeah. And that's what sucks so much. And why you saying waste potential is phenomenal, because like it feels like a damn Halo game. I mean, like you play it and you can tell that it's Halo, but then it's just like there's nothing else there.
Yeah,
and that's what's unfortunate. And I do love the No Man's Sky comparison. I think that's a good comparison for the game as well. So I don't know. We'll see the turnaround on this, if there's going to be one. I think there will be, but I just think it's going to take time. And the question is, when I say there's going to be a turnaround, I just more so mean in the game itself.
Yeah.
We'll see if the turnaround happens with community as well. I think the game will get turned around, but by the time it does, how much community will be left? That's going to be the big question.
Yeah. At this point, I would say, I mean, I don't want, to be fair, to be clear, I don't want the game to be what it is. I don't want it to be this thing that everybody complains about.
We want it to be great.
It's like,
Let's stress
I
that.
want Halo to be great. It's just not. Yeah. And I don't see this game transforming it back to being great.
Right.
It's still better than Battlefield 2042.
That's true. Yeah. You know, Battlefield 2014 claims Halo killed it. I can't get over that. Yeah. Well, the surprise release of Halo Infinite. Shut the fuck up.
I will say, just it's like if Halo is to restore its name, I don't know that this is the game to do it. Is kind of how I'll leave that.
Okay.
Because this game could turn around, but I don't know if it's going to build the goodwill back up. It might be the next game that does it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll continue to see how it goes and see when this shit comes out. I guess one thing to also keep an eye on is here in like a week and a half, we'll see if the co-op campaign Flight ends up going well. We'll keep an eye on that here in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you saying no, but we'll still keep an eye on it. All right, last talking point here for the day. Pokemon leak season is here. We touched on it last week. The leaker claims they're done, but they've claimed they've been done like 6 times in a week span, and deactivated their account like 6 times in a week span. But apparently now they are actually done because they're desperate. They're horribly afraid they're going to get Nintendo Ninja'd, which fair, probably would. Happens every time. I don't remember what was like the dollar amount or anything, but I know the people that leaked Sword and Shield, bro, they got so fucked in court. Like, it was a stupid amount of money for how much Nintendo fucked them for. So I get that. All right, so I want to again touch on the gimmick. So the gimmick is like, it's basically turning Pokemon into like a crystallized look, and it's just gaining an additional stab based on like an item that you're holding. The crystallized thing is just for simple like aesthetic, like hey, that's what you look like, but the main point is to gain the additional stab, which is going to be really interesting for competitive. Speaking of interesting for competitive, Pommy, the little electric type that was already revealed, its evolution apparently gets a 1-use move that can actually revive one of your Pokemon in battle. So that's going to be very interesting for competitive. Yeah, only 1 PP is all it's got. But it can revive a Pokemon in battle. So that will be very interesting for competitive. So there is ancient and future species of Pokemon that they're called Paradox Pokemon. And to no surprise, ancients in Scarlet apparently, and futures in Violet, the different forms. It's just, the older Pokemon getting said forms. There are 3 major cities and 9 towns. Regional deck should be 400 to 500. DLC should be a thing. Elite Four is back. Gyms, as we talked about last week, will not level scale. Experience share can't be deactivated. That's no surprise. That's just the era that we're in. Now, one thing that caught a lot of people's attention throughout these leaks is there is no daycare. So everyone's just like, okay, so breeding is dead. So how do you get eggs? But there was confirmed another mechanic to get eggs. Apparently, replacing daycare and the breeding and stuff will be in the Pokemon camp that was in Sword and Shield. They revamped the Pokemon camp. It's bigger and better than ever, apparently. You can like wash your Pokemon to help get friendship points, which is, I guess, great for those friendship evolutions. Although some Pokemon just absolutely despise getting washed, so maybe, I don't know, I'd imagine that wouldn't be ones that have friendship evolutions. So, but hey, at least there's an easy way to get friendship points, because those are sometimes kind of annoying to get. Just depends on the mon. But also in that camp is, I guess, how they fuck and make eggs. That's what I've come to understand here. Apparently the map is claimed to be bigger than all the Hisuian areas combined, though, so that's cool. Pokemon following is back. Catching style from Pokemon Legends is not back, though. But the evolutions and move learning from Pokemon Legends is back. So like the evolutions one is pretty cool. I like that that's back.
I mean, the way Legends did their move sets, just basically having the pool that you could swap between at any point in time, and or just being able to go and go up to the trainer and be able to get like whatever TM they could learn. Basically, they just had there that you could swap over to.
Right.
It's like, assuming that between that they just mean like the moves are there in a list and you can just swap them out at will. It's like, that's
awesome.
Why couldn't we just have that all the time?
Yeah.
Because it's like that. Because other previous games just had gimmicks for doing that. It was like, whether it be like heart scales or something like that in previous games, or collecting some resource and then having to take it to a certain house.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. That's one of the just niche nicest changes.
Quality of life, yeah. I am disappointed by the catching style not being back, though. But I mean, I'm not butthurt about it. It's fine.
I don't know. I kind of prefer the traditional style.
That's fair.
Over the other one.
Overworld Shinies is back, though, so that's cool. And apparently the shiny rates are seem to be like the same level they were with Legends, which for hardcore shiny hunters will probably upset them and piss them off, because it's like, it feels like it takes away from the value of the shiny. But for someone like me who despises shiny hunting with a passion, but would still like some shinies, I'm here for that. Because I've never had fun shiny hunting besides Pokemon Legends.
Nah, man. Only shinies you get are full odd shinies just randomly encounter.
That it does happen to you. That happened to me a few times in Legends. That was cool. Alpha Pokemon are back. They won't be called alphas, but they will have similar functionality and be related to the story. Mass outbreaks are back, and size variations is back as well. Some new Pokemon teases. There's a Ghost Dog. There's a coin Pokemon that evolves into a Gold Doll. Finally, a Grass Fire type. I've been waiting for this one for years. Apparently, it's going to be something which, no surprising. Everyone's Fakeamon for many years now, as it being a pepper of some capacity. But yeah, I've been waiting for a Grass Fire type for a very long time. A Kamen Rider Pokemon, so that's cool. Bug fighting type. That of course being like Power Ranger stuff, Super Sentai stuff over in Japan inspired. A flying fighting flamingo, so that's cool. So for regional forms, Wooper will have a regional form as well as like its own regional like new evolution. Tauros will apparently have 3 different regional forms, and it's not evolutions. They're all Tauros, but they're all going to be different and different types depending on the area of the map that you find them. So like one of them is a single type, the other 2 are dual types, for example. So that should be interesting. New evolutions for Primeape, Wooper, like I already mentioned, Dunsparce, Girafarig, which I have already seen that one, and Bizsharp, which I think I've seen that one as well. For the Primeape one, apparently it's a ghost fighting type, which the backstory behind that is involving its description, where it's like the end of the description says something involving it being so hyped up it dies or something like that. I don't know. But it's apparently a ghost fighting type. For ancient species, Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, Volcarona, Salamence, or Tyranitar, unsure which, and because whichever one gets the ancient, that one's getting the future. Volcarona,
you're about to get to the exciting one.
Delibird.
Oh yeah,
getting a future species.
Out of everything on the list, I was like, this one. It's like, this one's gonna be the cool one.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, I mean, like I mentioned with like the oddball ones, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be cool. Gallade also getting a future species, and Volcarona also getting a future. Apparently, when it comes to the Paradox Mons, some Mons in the game will get both. Some Mons will only get one or the other. Volcarona is one that will have an ancient and a future species, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, Salamence or Tyranitar, it's unsure who's getting which one. And then the Convergent species, which apparently that is is just a new mon that looks similar to an old mon, but they are unrelated, and they're
So it's Space Dittos.
basically.
Okay.
You know, they're also being called regional fakes online. So like Diglett is confirmed to have one where it looks like a Diglett, but it has nothing to do with Diglett. Different name, different Pokedex entry. It just happens to look like a Diglett. There's a couple mons that are like that.
Yeah, they just got tired of having to come up with new mons, and they went, "We're gonna draw that,
But different color.
change it a little bit."
They're not
call
even
it a
calling
new
it a
mon."
regional form. They're just saying, it's just a whole new
Yeah.
mon.
They
Yeah.
just look at it and go, "It's like, what do we need to do now? Just make another Diglett and call it something else."
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, as per normal, Pokemon is getting really just kind of leaked out there. I saw some leaked pictures of like some of the gym leaders and stuff like that as well. But I mean, I'm still pretty pumped up for this game. I'm. It's always cool to see like all the mons getting new evolutions because they always pick really random ones as well as some. It's like, oh yeah, I mean they could use some love. Apparently, Hariyama is going to get a future form as well, which that's pretty cool. I actually like Hariyama quite a bit. Delibird is going to be interesting. I'm here for whatever Amoonguss is going to be because Amoonguss is a really good competitive mon. So I'm very, very curious about what the ancient form is going to be, as well as like Primeape and of course Dunsparce. People have been calling for Dunsparce evolution for years. They've been wanting this to happen. So I'll be kind of curious to see what that's going to kind of turn into, as well as I'm looking forward to seeing the grass fire type. I've been waiting. I want to say that is the only combination for grass that does not have a type yet. I think grass fire is the only one.
What's the Pokemon that has like the sombrero?
Ludicolo.
Yeah, what if it's just regional Ludicolo?
Let's do it. I love Ludicolo. But no, I mean, this just gets me still pretty excited for the game. Everything about it sounds good to me. Like I said, the DLC should be a thing. That's pretty dope. I've seen the map I've seen a couple of like really rough leaks of the map as well. Like on one side, it does look pretty huge. So, boys, any thoughts on any of this besides the stuff that we already kind of shot out?
I mean, I'm not the Pokemon person,
Yeah,
so
I
not
know.
really.
Yeah, I know you don't know.
I don't know, because a lot of the stuff, it's like, yeah, it's leaked out there. There's pictures and stuff out
Yep.
there. I tend to take most of it all with a grain of salt until we get any sort of like actual footage from Nintendo about it. But it's like, I mean, optimistically, it's like, I don't know. I've not been the biggest fan of like the regional forms since I've started doing those.
They're okay.
It's like they're okay, but it's like you basically you giving me, it's like instead of giving me like an evolution or a new mon or something, you're just giving me an old one like recolored or a slightly different design or something to it.
Yeah, new type. And
So
just
it's like
calling it good.
it's not my favorite thing that they do, but I mean at least when they do them, they're going back and they're giving like some of the old mons who've been around for 15 years, 20 years some love.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see those. And it's like, I mean, and actually having like a difference between the different versions of the game, like with different forms, I mean, gives a reason. It might give you a reason to actually have two different games now.
True.
Other than just slightly, or it's like one dex gets these mons, the other one gets like these ones that one doesn't get.
Yeah.
It's like it looks to actually have a difference between them now.
With the forms.
Yeah, with the forms that might give you a reason to want to have one over the other.
Right.
But
And that
I
is
mean,
a good point. That is a very good point.
it's like, because I mean, hell, we've had, that's the main gimmick between the different versions of the game has just been you get this legendary in this one, you get the other one in that one, and there's a few different mons you can't get inside of them.
Yeah.
So finally having a reason to get one over the other, if one certain mon in particular really speaks to you, or you really want to play with that one, it's like, I mean, that's nice to actually see some variation.
Yeah, because I think the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that they've done that is just Applin in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Based on the version of the game will depend on the apple you get to evolve it. I think that's the only time. I think the only one that I can think of where it's like one Pokemon having different evolutions depending on the game.
I think the only other one that was like that was Lycanroc for Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like,
So like they've dabbled in exploring that idea, but now they're really going all out with it.
yeah. So it's like So hopefully it's fully embraced
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like gives plenty of different choices between it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited. We should see some news, Pokemon news sometime here in the near future. I would imagine, I think there's a trailer coming out sometime soon. Pokemon has been like real heavy these past like week, doing a lot of merch news and a lot of Unite news.
It's been about every
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
a new email has come out with
Yeah,
some news.
so I think there will be Scarlet and Violet stuff here coming soon. I will say for the Unite stuff, I did see where they're adding runes now. I thought that was kind of interesting. I saw the data mined image for how the rune system's going to work.
I hadn't looked at Unite in a while. And
I haven't looked since me and you got on and got our absolute shit wrecked. That was the
because,
last time I
like,
got on.
I saw an email and they were like this new attacker and this one and this one,
Yep.
and I'm looking at it going, when the fuck did that happen?
yeah, right. Yeah, because like they're hyping up Glaceon. I'm just like, damn, I didn't know Glaceon got a lot of different stuff added in now. It was Glaceon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They also added Espeon too, didn't they?
Well, Espeon was before I think we all quit.
Yeah.
No, that was Sylveon.
Yeah, it was Sylveon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Well, Sylveon was already in the game.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
when we
right
played.
before we quit. Yeah, and then I think they added Espeon, now Glaceon. They've added Buzzhole, and they've added Tyranitar, so all-arounders getting some love. I still don't think they've added another Speedster. I still think it's the original Speedster. I don't think a new one's been added.
I mean, I know they had, I forget it, the Fox Firestarter.
Yeah, Delphox, yeah. I need to get back on there eventually.
Nope.
I mean, I'm saying I need to eventually. It's still a fun game.
That's just our response.
Yeah, I know. It's still a fun game, but
I mean, it was fun for what it was, but
Yeah.
it's like it was fun. It was gimmicky for what it was for when I played it. I had some fun with it, but I don't know. It's a little more gimmicky than I feel like jumping back into.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Because I mean, the game was set up where you could dick off for 8 minutes and then still win in the last two. So anyway, all right, we'll hit the weekly wrap up now. We actually have a lot of stuff here in the weekly wrap up. A lot of stuff to kind of go over. So the first thing in the weekly wrap up is Xbox Discord partnership that is currently available right now for Xbox Insiders.
Yep.
Should be coming soon to consoles and stuff like that, which is awesome. But the way to like access it seems like a roundabout thing where you have to like pull up Discord like on your phone, scan a QR code, and it gets linked that way. But I do think that we're heading towards this future where Discord is naturally just integrated into a console. I mean, we already know about the Sony partnership as well with Discord. So we are heading that way where Discord can just be downloaded on your console. I think we're heading that way, which is great.
Which this was one when that was announced. I thought that was already I thought that had already happened.
No.
I was like, how are we in 2022 and something like this hasn't already happened?
Yeah, I know. So looking forward to the future for that. We got a bunch of Ubisoft news here. To no one's surprise, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora has been delayed to fiscal year 2023-2024. Seriously, who the fuck thought this game was coming out this year? Like, I mean, when I saw this was delayed,
I mean,
like,
why not? No, we know nothing else about it. Why wouldn't it come out this year?
just and then it'd just be like a disaster.
I was like, sure, put it out.
Now, I imagine they really tried because they wanted to line it up with the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I imagine, but I don't think anyone guessed this movie was actually coming out. There are multiple Assassin's Creed games in development. I already mentioned Project Rift last week, which is a standalone Valhalla game. And what happened?
No, carry on.
This just
carry
between
on.
us.
Okay, between you guys, got it.
Yeah.
As well as another one called Project Red, which is possibly set in Asia. And then both these projects will be part of Assassin's Creed Infinity later, as all Assassin's Creed games are apparently going to become, as we've already kind of heard and we've chatted about before. So
this is Infinity is just good. It's not at this point.
collection
It's just
hub.
like it's just a place you go to launch your game.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
it's really what it sounds like. It's just a live service Assassin's Creed game where I'll have all the old games.
They got tired of having to make a
have
new
new ones coming
file
in.
for every Assassin's Creed, so they're
Yep.
just going to put it in Infinity.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like you just load that up. Which one do you want to play?
Yep, basically. They recently had some canceled projects that was confirmed, like Splinter Cell VR and Ghost Recon Frontline. And there's 2 other unannounced games got canceled. And then there's apparently a spin-off of Immortals, Phoenix Rising, in development right now. Polynesian themed spin-off, so that'd be kind of cool.
Is it bad every time I hear that? I think of Phoenix Wright.
That's fair though. That's fair. No, I wouldn't say it's bad. But yeah, a lot of Ubisoft news this week, and then we got a lot of dates, a lot of announcements for some games. First up,
Wait. Let me guess. October.
Yes. So, okay, two things about all these dates, right? When I came across two of these, I had two immediate thoughts, and they're both from you. The first thought was with the first one here on the lineup of Dragon Ball The Breakers, set to come out October 14th. So the moment I saw that, I just heard John say, yeah, when everyone was just like, you know how your games are coming out in 2022? We mean October. And then the other thought that I had involving this news is when I saw the leaked release date for Sonic Frontiers. And initially the date that came out was 11/8. And then it was like hours later, it was changed to 12/3. So when I saw that 11/8, I immediately heard in my head you from like an episode or two ago with God of War when we were talking about Skull and Bones, where you're just like, so you're just sending it out to die. Yeah. So that's what I thought with Sonic. When I saw that 11/8 date, the day before God of War, I'm like, okay, Sega, so you're sending Sonic out to get slaughtered. Thanks, guys.
It's the way the date changing like that. I could almost imagine that as like someone sends the email out and they're like, all right, here we go. Fuck, that's God of War.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're sending Sonic out to die, man. Thanks, appreciate that.
Well, depending on in August and Dragon Ball and whether I'm under an NDA, I might be able to talk about that.
That's true. That's true.
Oh yeah, you did get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, I guess.
You fucking get
He gets into everything. As soon as he said that in the Discord, I'm like, this dude signs up for everything.
Do you just like go online and go, what games have signups available? And
No.
then just start
like
signing
you do.
up for everything.
No, I didn't do that for years, but just whatever this year, I've had some extra time and I was just browsing through stuff, and as I see stuff and I see trailers and like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing, I just immediately click it and go sign up.
He gets in
I
everything.
don't know
man.
where he finds all this. He's like,
That's what I wonder too. I didn't hear about Marvel Snap, and I'm more the Marvel fanboy in here.
it's like he's over here like, oh hey, it's like you mentioned. He goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in that closed testing here next week.
What? Oh man, I
don't know what you want from me, guys.
To know,
Yeah, yeah. We just want to know.
heads up.
Well, that was the heads up because literally I had only done it like I had got a thing about it. Actually, yeah, that was the heads up because I signed up for that thing. I think like 2 days before you posted that.
Okay.
It's just funny because it's like out of nowhere. You're like, yeah, I'm in this test. Oh yeah, this test comes. This test is like 2 weeks from now. I'm gonna be in that one too.
Basically. We also got a release date for TMNT Cowbunga Collection set for 8/30. Shout out to that. And we also have a date for a Destiny 2 showcase on 8/23. I imagine showing off the next expansion.
Remember when Destiny 2 was supposed to die after like its third expansion?
Yep.
Man, that game is they're really just plugging away at it.
Yep. Now, I did hear from a guy that I've met through work who religiously plays Destiny 2, and he's very openly acknowledged of the problems of the game, and he claims up and down that the game is unfucking believable now. Like, it's just so much better than you could
I
even-
hear that from a lot of people.
But I still haven't got it on. I have downloaded it at least on my PS5 to try to play, but I just haven't got it on.
Even if you jump into it right now and try to go in and play it, welcome to like the next 6 months of having to grind through everything that everyone else did over the past 3 years or 5 years, however long it's been.
Next up, we did get a first look at Yakuza 8. Shout out to that.
I mean, it wasn't much.
No, it wasn't, but hopefully here around the corner we can get some more info. Did get a Mario Strikers Battle League update. Daisy was added to the game.
And
as well as
Shy Guy.
Yep.
And a new armor set.
Yeah, and this was record time for Nintendo and their sports games getting an update out just a month later, and they got an update. That's record time for them. It's almost as if it was already done, and they were just holding it in their back pocket. Just saying. We also got some Spider-Man PC features and specs, which this was actually pretty dope to see. You know, unlocked frame rate, DLSS support, ray tracing improvements, and ultra-wide monitor support, as well as it can support up to 3 monitors. You can with a certain.
Now you can really feel like you're swinging through the city.
Dude, I know. Like, I honestly am thinking about running it on these 3 monitors up here. I feel like it'd be really cool to see.
There's 2 different types of people here. There's
All right,
there's
here we go.
him who's like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna run it on these 3 monitors up here and have it looking all nice, and me, I'm sitting here going, that just sounds like a lot of extra fluff to sell it again.
Hey,
It's like that's
I'm
just
buying it.
it's
I'm
like
buying
that's
it.
just them putting stuff that they would have had in there anyway as like an extra. Hey, look at what we can do, so people will buy it again.
Hey, I'm buying it. I want to play.
I
on
mean,
PC.
that one doesn't really need fluff though.
I know, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's just one of those where it's like they could just say, "Hey, come into PC," and it's gonna sell like fucking crazy. But
Yep.
they go, you know what? But now you can do all this. It's like I'm pretty sure I would have been able to do that anyway.
Right. We also got some details on God of War Ragnarok plot. The main one being is that you will get to explore all 9 realms, which I did see a lot of questions leading up to this, if that was going to be possible. Where like one person in particular is like, "Please tell me it's not just going to be a snow game the entire game." And the Sony Santa Monica account, whatever, replied, "It's like, don't worry, you'll get to explore everything. Everything will be explored in the game."
Only thing with the 9 realms that I'm hoping for is we got to experience a couple realms in the first game. I'm just hoping it's not a closed-in box every single time for it.
Right, maybe some of them be more open.
It's like at least like an open-ish area where you can like walk around. Where not, it's like you have this one path to follow through this way. It's like, granted, they need that for narrative reasons and to kind of drive the player forward, but it's like not everything need. Or I would hope at least if they're going to go through the trouble of making the 9 realms playable, where you can go to all of them, that you at least get a little more than just a pathway that leads you on
I was
to the
about to
story.
say, you're on that kick of, okay, first time I'll give it to you because narrative. If you're sending me there again, I better be able to run around.
Exactly.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like you showed us this mechanic in the first one, and it was all narrative based. We're going to hell to get this heart of the gatekeeper. 2, and it's like, and then the other row is like, we're going here to do this specific goal, and then we're coming back. It's like in this one, you're just telling us you can go explore the 9 realms. Let me explore a little bit. I'm not saying give me a massive open area to run around in and give me a whole world to play with. Let me walk around a bit.
Yeah.
Don't just
check out some stuff.
It's like don't make a pathway and basically just put me on rails to walk while a character talks to me.
I will say I feel like that is a possibility because from some of the general conversation that I've seen is that this game is bigger than we could imagine it being. So.
I mean, I'm fully expecting this game to be bigger and like just more of what we got previously. Because like my picking up from where we left off, my only real questions with it is, where do we upgrade from where we left off?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're already going back in with powerful Kratos unless something happens at the beginning of this game to get our asses kicked again. So where we got to build back up.
Which would be standard.
Yep.
Yeah, which is pretty standard for the games, but it would be if they just let us keep the power level we were at and go from there. What's our upgrade system? What's driving us? It's like, what are we striving towards other than just the narrative?
Taking the Devil May Cry route and just making weapons out of gods.
I mean, very well possible.
And with what you just said about how Game Starts gets his ass kicked, whatever, it reminded me of this this newspaper thing someone made the other day that just fucking cracked me up. Where it's like a picture of Kratos and he it's a fake picture. So he's like smiling, whatever. And it's just like, man has funeral for his wife and starts apocalypse. I just thought it was fucking hilarious because of how the game starts. All right, so next up, just wanted to shout this out because I thought it was hilarious. Is PowerWash Simulator has become the 4th most popular game on Game Pass, passing Halo Infinite. I thought that was funny to see. And then the last little tidbit I just want to plug out there for people because this is something to watch. Pokemon YouTuber aDrive, he's one of the biggest Pokemon YouTubers in the community. He's recently passed 1 million subscribers, and like pretty much for this whole year, he's like taking a step back from streaming. He hasn't streamed besides doing a couple breaks. And it's all because of some secret project he's been working on forever. He finally revealed a couple things about the project, like with Creature and stuff. So basically he's creating, and this has been my opinion for months based on like the teasers that he's done, is that it seems like he's making an original monster catching game. And it's just something to keep an eye on because like if you don't follow aDrive, whether if you like him or you don't, I personally have not checked out streams since Pokemon Legends Marathon. I haven't watched any of his videos in a while, but I will still always give this dude the most massive credit in the world for like just being a fucking unbelievable workhorse. Like he has like a very high level of expectations for like his work and stuff. He's hired like a team of 30 plus people. He, like I said, he stopped streaming completely to work on this project. I'm just saying, if you're a Pokemon fan, keep an eye out for this because of who's heading this project, being aDrive, and his love for Pokemon, his own love, is like his dedication to his work. I think this could be a monster catching game that could actually be probably pretty solid, because most of them aren't that solid. I mean, there's a couple that aren't that bad here and there, but for the most part,
look at him for that.
yeah, for the most part, they're mostly flops. They don't really get anywhere. This is one to watch because he has the pool of the Pokemon community. So I think this is. I'm just wanting to plug it. Just keep an eye out. Just keep an eye out for his channel and for future updates. I think this could actually be pretty cool.
Here's a question for you. I just now see Dragon Ball: The Breakers limited edition.
Okay.
Apparently, if you get the limited edition, you get a Cell Shell figure.
I saw that. I was very disturbed.
What?
Why?
I was just very disturbed.
So
by that.
like Cell's form, how he breaks out of it like a shell.
His larva form. Yep.
It's 9 centimeters apparently.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, there's a closed beta test for Plus Ultra Rumble.
Yeah, I forgot that's coming out.
I don't know what that is.
That's the My Hero Academia BR. Forgot that was coming out, honestly.
Hey, y'all said let y'all know.
Yeah, well, okay, fair enough.
That's how I found out about this shit.
All right, boys. Last thoughts on anything we chat about here today?
What follows up LeBron?
Good thought.
Yeah, good thought. And man, at this point, fuck October, man.
Oh my god, bro, true. All right, I'm gonna hit the music.
All right.
Last thoughts, boys.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can help us build a community there and hit subscribe. And you can also hit the bell to let you know when any video comes up. Thank you very much. Bye.
Do everything he said and more. And if you made it to the end of the episode, thank you very much. We kind of rambled on for a while there, and hopefully you'll be back for some more of it next week. Thank you.
I hope so, because next week we got Digimon Survive. Get to ramble on about that.
Well, we had to ramble because we haven't done a Spark Bark, so we need to do it somewhere.
Yeah, we do need to do a Spark Park sometime soon. That needs to get worked on. But yeah, if you could also make sure to check out our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. Sign up $5 a month. Head over to sparky3shop.com as well. Use promo code ARTISTCOOL to get 25% off everything in the store. Check out some Rogue Energy. Use referral link down below. Promo code SPARKY3 with 10% off. Swift Grips, Game Static 10% off. And Red Dragon, Game Static 10% off. Join the Discord. Go check us out on Twitter at GameStaticPod. And check out the other shows. Anime MLS, Table Football Show, Talk About Ubisoft, and Spark Park. I think that's it. So with that said, until next time, guys, see you next week when we finally talk about Digimon Survive.